Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Eden Zero, Chapter 88. When we last left our heroes, the assault on the Belial Gore really started to kick off as the Four Star Shines fought the Element Four to allow Shiki, Rebecca, Wise, and Happy to make it to the top of Drakken Joe's tower. But when they got to the roof, they encountered Master Noah there to greet them, and that's where we left off last time. So let's jump right on into Chapter 88, Eye of God. We have a character file here for Rebecca. Pino's analysis, name Rebecca Bluegarden, powers Ether Gear of Cat Leaper, likes happy, cats, and food, dislikes Labilia, but she does not dislike her enough to not save her. Attack is 2 stars, defense is 1, marksmanship is 5 stars, ether power 4, intelligence 3 stars, leg sexiness 5 stars. Of course, that's what really matters. Memo, she's a beekeeper who uploads videos, but apparently her videos are not very popular. She has owned her kinetic eyesight through video games, and so she has tremendous skill as a markswoman. She used her cat leaper power to come back in time for a bleak and desolate future. Alright, so let's jump in. We open where we left off with Noah arriving to the infiltration team. Rebecca steps out of the Aqua Wing, I think it was called. Master Noah, what are you doing here? And Wise is with her. He's the guy who... And Shiki from the roof of the ship. You hurt Rebecca! And he runs off the Aqua Wing to get at Noah. Shiki, Master! And he goes to punch Noah, and it fades right through him, because he is a hologram. What you see is a hologram. My physical body is on Blue Garden. A hologram? And Rebecca asks, then what is your hologram doing here? I have something to tell you, Rebecca. And Rebecca looks at him. First, I have the ability to observe people's locations. With my ether gear, the Eye of God. Which is, of course, the chapter title, so I guess this is going to be a very Noah-heavy chapter. Which I think last time I predicted that we'd be focusing more on the Element 4 fights than Noah, but I guess I was wrong. Anyway. I used to think that, in an age with so many advancements in GPS and nanotechnology, an ability like this was quite useless. But it would seem my powers of observation extend outside of time. Okay. Does that mean he's observing all of the cat leaping? Is that what's going on there? Outside of time. In other words, I can observe Rebecca's location in time, as well as her movements across it. Which means you know about my power and my time traveling. Exactly. I believe it was about 10 years ago when I first noticed it. And that gives Rebecca pause. What? A girl who should have passed away in a car accident. Instead, changed her location in time. The accident that killed Happy. Okay. You mean, and she flashes back to the accident, she did it subconsciously. She herself doesn't remember doing it. Even after that, when her life was threatened, or the instant her life was lost, she subconsciously changed her location in time. Wait, so she's been doing it all through the series? Oh. This is the 30th time. I call this world number 30. Okay, so that if there was any doubt on what number 30 meant, there you go. But I figured that was just that the bath, waking up from the bath was her reset point, and that every reset she came back there, and that she's, done Belial Gore 30 times, and that, the nightmare was the end of World 28, and then she died in World 28, and then came back to the bath with hazy memories of the end of World 28 here at the start of World 29. But apparently no. She did that against that guy in Chapter 2, the brothers in the Norma arc against Eliga. Okay. So when he called me number 29, he was referring to the previous world. World number 29. And somehow, in world number 30, you have succeeded in retaining your memories of the previous world. In other words, you can say that world number 30 is the only world in which Drakken can be defeated. So yeah, my theory was completely off base. Okay. Everyone kind of takes in that revelation. But Shiki shouts out, "Just hold on, this doesn't make sense. Are you saying this is the last time I can use my power? No. I don't know how many times it will ultimately be used. In run number 30, the situation between you and Drakken has become more perilous than in run number 29. And Shiki looks at him confused. Drakken's goal is to obtain your power, Cat Leaper. In run number 29, you hadn't awakened to your power, so he imprisoned you for 7 days after Shiki's death. But now those powers have awakened, which means he won't imprison you. If he defeats you, your powers will be forfeit." Okay, so now we're establishing some stakes, which was a kind of criticism we saw pop up after she left back in time. They're like, oh, now that she can just time travel back to the past, there are no stakes anymore. And this kind of sets up that there are definitely stakes, at least for this arc. And Rebecca kind of takes that in. And if that happens, you will lose the ability to change your location in time. Drakken's world number 2 will begin. Oh, so if he gets that power, he literally can't be beat. Because he can just, he's more aware of it than the past 29 Rebeccas have been. So he can just, reset at will. But Moskowitz, no! And Wise looks at Noah. Wait a minute. How do you know what happened in the future? I only deduced the events based on the locational information of the people involved. Was I wrong? No, you were right. I have done some inexcusable things to all of you. It was I who sold Rebecca to Gilst, and who sold her information to Drakken. So he's just kind of coming out and admitting it. But I did it for a reason. I did it all to defeat Drakken Joe. Okay, you're gonna have to sell me on that one, Noah. And Shiki just looks at him. Meanwhile, we cut back to the Element 4 fights, as Laguna readies it like a water sword, but Witch blocks it with some kind of shield. A water blade, eh? I don't like fighting androids. I can't use my signature move on someone who doesn't shed tears. Is that... So, I know, and so someone pointed out last week, that we have seen Witch cry after hearing that Valkyrie was dead. So does this idea that Witch is someone who doesn't shed tears come from some kind of anti-android bigotry that we kind of saw in both Hermit and Valkyrie's storylines? Specifically in Valkyrie, the idea that, Valkyrie was unfit to be a mother because she wasn't human, because she didn't feel the same way that humans feel. Is that kind of sentiment the same thing that Laguna is tapping into here? I'm not sure. Anyway, Witch kind of does this lightning thing at Laguna, but we do shed tears. So yeah, she's kind of countering that. After all, we have hearts too. Meanwhile, in the Sylph fight, Sylph is doing some kind of techno thing with these 2 orbs she's got. Click, and she's clicking on her fingers. And she summons this drone over their battlefield. What's one of your drones doing up there? The drone shines a light down on Fee and just shoots at him. That was pretty obvious. What's one of our drones doing up there? My bad. I was like, why wouldn't Fee just jump away? But it's because it's one of their own drones. My bad. I misread that. Oh, whoa. The hell? You hacked our drone. And Hermit, looking super badass in that pose, by the way, just swipes at something, readying her next move of the battle. Meanwhile, Ivory is handling Daichi, and Daichi looks at her. Your face is awfully pretty. So yeah, Daichi's kind of being a creep again. Your visual's not so bad either, pig. Reminds me of a street performer. Someone who might say Muskoy. Ivory's getting ready to fucking throw down. And Daichi shows her the 60-day coin. I've resisted the urge to torture for 60 days. But now, when I see someone as pretty as you, when he crushes the coin and tosses it away, I can't. Torture. Ban! He does the dance again. And Ivory sister just kicks him in the nuts. Oof. 60 days? That's cute. And she puts up her own... Is that a 10-month coin? 10-year coin! That coin! And she crushes the 10-day coin. I'm a 10-year torture-free ex-dominatrix! Of course you are. For a moment there, I forgot about Eden Zero's love of BDSM. and she throws the coin at Daichi's ass. Arg! Meanwhile, at Homura's fight with Sylph, Homura says to her, It seems that in my previous world, I suffered defeat twice at your hands. And Sylph looks confused at that. This is my first mission as Valkyrie. I must ensure this fight brings no shame to my mentor. And she rushes at Sylph. Your wind. I will stop it for you. And Sylph readies her wind prison technique. The winds are all around Homura. 5 sword fencing, crane form. And she with her ether gear makes another 4 swords, so she has 5 swords now, which shocks Sylph, and she starts cutting up the wind with it. A blade that cleaves the wind like an elegantly dancing crane. You are the one whose wind will be stopped. And then we get back to the roof. So again, we just kind of barely check in on the Element 4 fights. Because again, the real meat of this chapter is with Noah. You want to defeat Drakken? The guy who put Rebecca in all that danger? And Noah looks back at Shiki. Is there a problem? And Shiki just looks at him. And we see Drakken, floating in, like a Bacta tank from Star Wars, it looks like. You have yet to learn how truly terrifying Drakken can be. And that is the end of the chapter. So yeah. The chapter is a lot of fun, really interesting. We get a lot of things confirmed. I definitely knew that this was world number 30. That was kind of easy to figure out after Dragon's number 30 in chapter 86. What I did not know is that she's been doing this all along, without realizing it, without us seeing it. Starting back from Happy's death, and carrying on to the present day. Which definitely does change my theories up, but my theories were very, future-looking. And not, and not about the past. So, that means that the nightmare from Rebecca's nightmare is still, very up in the air, we're not quite sure what it means yet. It's not another future, it's not World 28's future, which I thought it was. So that's kind of the big reveal is a stabbing to my theory. But I guess the real big reveal is that Noah is somehow doing all this to beat Drakken. And I get how we're now in a perfect place for beating Drakken, now that we have, prior knowledge on beating Drakken. Prior knowledge on Drakken's forces, how to beat the Element 4. We've got, the 4 Starshines are ready to fight the Element 4, well, they were kind of already incapacitated last time. So that's, that makes sense there, and now I guess all Shiki, Rebecca, Wise, and maybe Moskoi, I guess, can all team up to beat up Drakken, which will be 4-on-1, which will hopefully be enough. But Noah is still just such a wild card, and I really want to see what comes of him after all this is through. But yeah, that's kind of it. Then we have, the Starshine fights, Hermit kicking ass with the drone, Witch asserting her personhood, Sisters reveal as an ex-dominatrix, which, we could kind of read that already in her character, but again, it's just a reminder of how obsessed with BDSM Mashima is now. Normally is genuinely used as, a horrifying thing, but this is just, a gag for it. And then, yeah, we see, Homura's rematch against Sylph. And then, yeah, that's kind of where the chapter leaves us, with a little bit, very minuscule progress on the Element 4. I hope we I imagine we'll get to that, definitely before Shiki and the gang leave the roof. I don't know if Noah will go into more detail about why he's anti-Drakken before the Element 4 fights are through. I don't know what the structure of that's going to be. But anyway, that's all I have to say for this chapter. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!